changing? Hustlers actress stripped.
She's a stripper, and most people, the judgment stops there. They see that somebody's a stripper, and then they assume so many things.
Malcolm X. Was he bisexual?
Malcolm X died. People began grabbing at the myth, trying to...
Our new game, Saved by the Bell. It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, Misty Eyes. Special guest, Mark McNamara. Special guest host, Ron Bronetsky. With your host, lifestyle expert Napoleon Blades. Trans activist Aaron Phoenix. Reality TV star Chef Josie. DJ Diva Power Infinity. And our moderator, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, good evening, America, and it's Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. You know what that means. It's happening out, and we're very excited, although I have to start by saying this is probably the only time in the entire show y'all are going to see me excited, because for some reason I feel like I'm in detention.
What an easy joke. He's going to turn right to me. The colorful, fun one. I hope this is your punishment.
I'm
All of
in
America should be paying me.
detention tonight.
If I'm punishing you,
This is the first time in a year and a half of It's Happening Out I'm having to sit this close to him.
I mean,
Isn't
you guys
that
are pretty
detention?
close tonight, I had to say.
Yeah.
Maybe you're bonding over happening fun. I don't know.
Our guest host on the other side of me is really going to make up for it. I'm going to show you for that in a moment.
All the joy in the world.
America, you know, of course, we're live. We're going to prove that. I'm going to prove it all over and over and over again because all the mistakes you're going to hear tonight, anything can happen, and that's what makes this lots of fun. This is the world's most popular live gay TV show. We proved that in a couple of ways. In January, Facebook awarded It's Happening Out the notification that we had more than 1.8 million views in the month of January.
That's
Very good. Thank you.
Wait for it. We go even a step farther. 3 days ago, we got notification of our website at It's Happening Out, the #1 LGBT website in the state of Florida by a factor of 10 over #2 was guess who? It's Happening Out.
Wow.
Our ranking out of 900 million websites in the United States was 23,000.
Wow.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So, congratulations to you.
Yeah, so keep going there because we know that you want to see more of what we're doing. We know that you're liking what we're doing, sharing, subscribing, and also starting a watch party. It's really simple. You want to talk about this with your friends, just watch this video to see how.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. After clicking share, your screen should change and you can then click watch party. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click start watch party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
And, of course, host of It's Happening Out, stay at the Best Western on off of I-95 and Commercial Boulevard, where we are treated like absolute gold and royalty. So if you guys are ever in town and are visiting Wilton Manors, please make sure to stop in, check them out. I promise you will not be disappointed.
I'm sorry, sir. Who are you? Power Infinity.
This is the man behind the makeup.
Right?
And we're broadcasting from our permanent set here at the World AIDS Museum and Educational Center, located in the heart of Wilton Manors, famously known as the gayest place on planet Earth.
Yes. Did you know that this is the gayest place?
I've heard that many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
It is, and we're going to prove it tonight, America. Watch what's getting ready to happen. We also want to thank Concepto Modern Living. They helped design this new set. We're very proud to be right here in the middle of the World AIDS Museum and Education Center, and Concepto Modern Living right here in Fort Lauderdale helped us do that. Now, I also want to welcome one more time. I think this is the last week
Hope it's
we're
the
going
last
to do this. Ron Berensky, our Republican political analyst.
Proud to be
Wait, there
Republican.
was laughter here at the World AIDS Museum.
Ron Bruneski.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry, Ron. I'm
It's
just terrible
okay.
at it.
It's okay.
It's like, what's
But-
up, bruh?
Okay. And tonight,
That's why he has the problem with it.
tonight there's a big night for Ron because he can't wait to get home and watch something that's fabulous going on in Las Vegas. I'm sure we'll probably talk about that. And also, we want to welcome a special guest host that's going to be with us all through the evening. This is a very famous personality here in South Florida, and an activist, and an actress, and an entrepreneur, and
And the recording artist.
and a recording artist.
Yeah, I
and
remember that. I know things.
all
I like these slash marks. Let's just
all
keep it going,
and
keep it
all
going.
around this America is the famous Misty Eyes. Welcome. With what I said, Misty, I'm so glad you're here because I'm hearing in the back of my head, Bueller. I'm in detention sitting here.
See?
So you're going to save me. Every time I turn to you and look in this gleeful look, it's because I'm in detention.
Please just
Misty.
help him and help America see just how pitiful that look is.
Meanwhile,
He's regretted every
America,
time.
Al was the one that chose the seating order.
Don't out me, dude.
Oh, boy.
Don't out me.
You know, they say thou protest too much.
Right.
The more you say you don't like something, usually means you like
You got a boner.
Wow. you prepped the whole cast today by saying we just keep Napoleon silent, like Jasmine and Aladdin. And instead,
All right.
they all come to my defense.
America, we're part of. Are you finished? We're part of the Happening Out television network, and we have other products too. Q News Tonight is our daily PM evening live. Gay evening news show.
Is it in the evening?
It's in the evening, apparently. We are out of
PM.
the,
Like a fucking limerick.
we're out of the closet and into the headlines. Good night, America. This is and we also do an entertainment show called Happening.Fun, and that's Monday night at 8 p.m. live every week. And we show you the best fun things to do, and I do that with my partner, Steph Josie, and that's the only other person that I do it with.
And we sprinkle it with Napoleon.
A little bit of
Come on,
Napoleon.
The glitter of Napoleon.
All right,
Yellow
come on.
fun.
We're 7
Yeah,
minutes
the
into this
sprinkle.
show already. Should we do something
Absolutely.
substantive? Let's get started. We have lots of fun things to tell you tonight. We always begin with our meme of the week. You know, we have the debate tonight, and we're trying to plan on what we need to do for 2020. And we saw this meme, and we thought this was great. Look at this meme of the week. I know what's best for America starter pack. And that includes skinny jeans, drugs, anal sex, and Bernie Sanders.
Well, it's a vape. It's not like drugs. It's not like they're shooting something up. It's
Sounds like a
it's
nicotine
vape.
Who decided this is best for America? No.
Drugs, like if it's a Tina pipe.
That much?
It fits me pretty well in 2016, so I give it a thumbs up.
Oh, who's a Bernie Sanders supporter at the table?
Not currently.
Oh,
In 2016,
I like what he's
was.
I'm an everybody
I don't
supporter.
like him.
okay, all right.
But he has a lot of great opinions. I like him.
Yeah,
All right,
we
let's-
love his opinion.
Yeah, let's move out of the meme and talk about some breaking news. We call it Happening Now. And, of course, you know there is breaking news. First off, and we're not going to Las Vegas first. We are reporting selfishly here in Florida, but it affects the entire nation. A federal court has ruled this afternoon that Florida cannot deny felons' right to vote over previous fines or fees. First off, on this breaking news, we've prepared this for you. Watch this.
Amendment 4 took effect last year, giving former felons the right to vote, and that does not include certain sex crimes or murders. Last month, Florida's Supreme Court said it could prevent folks with fines on their record from voting. That has now been overturned. Now, we delivered the news to Devin Coleman over a video chat just minutes ago. Here's his reaction.
Oh, man, like I'm excited. I can't even think of the words. He would die so I could have the right to vote. And in addition to that, I was able to turn the curve. I turned my life around.
This has the potential effect in Florida of 1.6 million potential new voters. This has primarily, this has primarily been led in opposition by Governor DeSantis and the GOP inner circle here in Florida. This has very significant effects on the entire nation in terms of how they affect felons, ex-felons, and restoring their voting rights. Because in this court ruling, the decision was made that they should be allowed and cannot be prevented, especially in this instance when it was a state voter initiative. The voters of Florida voted to do this, and the inner circle of the government here in Florida have been fighting it for the last 3 years. This federal court decision is very significant. What do y'all think about what we're watching in the breaking news this afternoon here in Florida?
It's major. I think they're trying to suppress the voice of criminals because you can't change history. Most people behind bars are a minority population, and I think minority populations are more liberal in their voting stream, and they're trying to suppress their voice and make them not heard because they don't want a Republican Florida.
Ron, you're our Republican political analyst. I cannot wait to hear what your observations are.
Well, I want to tell you what I have said to my GOP members. Listen to the will of the people. Unfortunately for them, it's very clear that if the voters of the state of Florida change the Constitution, allowing this to happen, we should not begin to change it. Now, I also remind them, and I reminded this to even the governor, Governor, you forgot that the will of the people, you've got to follow it. So I'm sorry, I'm in favor of this ruling. I think it's fantastic. I personally think that I would wish it wouldn't happen. It happened. Deal with it. Let's move forward.
Ron, I'm curious, are you aware when you make an observation like that, that there are people in Tallahassee and in Washington right now that are planning to drop a house on your head? Are you,
Listen, I have had so many houses being dropped by the Democrats and my LGBT community that does not support
there
the
we are.
Republican.
Welcome
Who
back,
cares?
Republican analysts.
I am fighting
Okay.
all the time, and I'm going to tell you something. This is good for us in Florida. This is good for the nation.
Okay.
Deal with it. Let's move forward.
Any other thoughts?
I have a question about this, which is, so this ruling has taken place. Would that affect the upcoming votes?
Could.
For
The implementation of this court ruling, it probably depends on appeal, because it is potential in this federal ruling for an appeal that ultimately could go all the way to the Supreme
That's
Court.
actually what is being appealed.
However,
that the law came into effect first because it was 2018, and therefore they should have their rights. And then after that, the rights were trying to be taken back
A
again.
very interesting argument, though, to your question. Your question is fantastic, because a very interesting argument of the importance of 2020 of these votes. Let's assume for a second on November 3rd it came down to Florida.
Right.
Yeah. This issue would become front and center, and the Supreme Court would have to rule, wait, can we, however many votes, let's say it's not 1.6 million, let's say it's 100,000, likely 100,000 votes will change Florida's outcome, one way or the other.
Well,
So-
fortunately, Florida never is any sort of impact in the presidential
Well,
election.
and
so
ultimately,
we're good
don't
here.
worry about it, because in Broward County, we'll probably lose 100,000 votes in boxes somewhere.
Yeah.
I was going to feed him to cookies.
Maybe two,
Right.
exactly.
Let's
have a
move,
recount.
Yes, let's move on to happening breaking news right now. Our second breaking news, and that is the big debate that is happening. At 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NBC and MSNBC is going to broadcast the presidential debate in Las Vegas. This is a big one. The reason is that there are 6 candidates that have qualified for this debate. It is likely going to be a smackdown, and that is because this will be the first presidential debate that Mike Bloomberg is on the stage. And second, this is the first presidential debate where Joe Biden is no longer the leader of the Democratic initiative, and Bernie Sanders is significantly in polling ahead of the other candidates. So likely, because of those two issues, it's going to be a smackdown because this could be a last-ditch effort for anyone that wants to be viable. Breaking news in terms of what you think is going to happen in this debate. What do you think?
Well, I personally am getting ready for it because I'm going to get popcorn and a nice milkshake and a couple of drinks and saying, look at them go, love it. To me, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to see, this is the first time that America is going to see really people going after Sanders because he is the front runner. Second of all, we now are going to see the first time Bloomberg out there really talking about the issues, if he has any. All right? Because it's very interesting. We talked about Donald Trump being a Democrat in his youth and becoming a billionaire and then a Republican. Well, here we have a Republican billionaire who turned to be a Democrat. So it's interesting. Maybe they're copying each other. But the fun thing about it is, let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be a bang wang. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be those
As
nights.
someone who spends a lot of time on Twitter, and I've been seeing hashtag Black America, Mike for Black America trending, I'm deep in the conversation, and I'm really curious to hear more about his plan to invigorate the Black community. He's promised 100,000 new homes, or no, small businesses for Black ownership. He's promised 1 million new Black homeowners. He's talking about building generational wealth, and he's getting a lot of backlash from the Black community because of stop and frisk and some of his stances on, well, obviously his very controversial stances on race. But is this enough to right a wrong and do his best to make it right? I don't hear any other candidate putting that kind of...
It absolutely is enough from my seat, because at the end of the day, Bloomberg's argument is, regardless of anything else, my number one objection, or my number one objective, is to defeat Donald Trump. And so what we watch tonight is that singular issue, however he gets there, is it enough? Tonight, finally, we get to hear.
We finally get to see Bloomberg in action, which I have been, I've been excited to actually hear him, because we keep seeing the airwaves flooded with his commercials. I don't want to see no more commercials. I
love those commercials.
I want to hear Bloomberg. That's what I want to hear more. I want to hear him answer to his past when it comes to the environment of sexual harassment for his company, when it comes to stop and frisk, when it comes to his remarks with regards to transgender individuals. All those things might be able to be cleared up. All those things might be able to be answered to, but I want to hear.
Howard, let me ask you a question to your observation. Even if you were not satisfied on any of those question standards, does it make any difference ultimately to you and voters like you in comparison to what Donald Trump has done?
Well, no. And this is what I keep telling people. I have put out this challenge on social media, and everybody that's watching, please feel free to accept this challenge. Post and put on my page everything you don't like about Mike Bloomberg. And then I will post one thing I don't like about Trump, which is his racist history, dating back to the 70s. And we will compare and see which one is worse.
Please, until when are you guys going to get up and smell the coffee? If he is a racist, my God, horrible. He's a racist. He's not a racist. He's proven he's not a racist.
He is a racist. Where has it been proven he's not a racist?
He had
he is most definitely a
girlfriend, which is black.
Excuse me. This is what kills me. This is what kills me. When people point to somebody that's not a racist by saying, oh, my girlfriend or my friend. You know, slave owners had a lot of bitches that they were
is true.
fucking that, and they still whip them and still own them. That doesn't mean nothing.
It seems to
Girlfriends that are
me-
black doesn't mean nothing.
Ron, it
You have
seems
to
to
look at his
me
racist history.
I would like to try to first remember when we get to those kind of moments, nobody hears anything. And second, we're talking about the debate tonight. So we're talking about the Democratic candidates.
Back to the debate. I also like power. Really am looking forward to Mike's whatever he has to say. But I'm sorry, right now, until I hear Mike, Elizabeth Warren's my front runner.
Yes,
All right.
me
Really-
too.
Have you guys considered the possibility
About
that,
20 more seconds, please, and we're
that-
moving on.
That if it gets down to Bloomberg and Sanders, that maybe Sanders could win, and then they would both be in a pickle because we're seeing people ask Bernie to say, "Hey, will you get your people to support anyone else if you're there?" But will Bloomberg back Sanders with money if it is Sanders that's there?
I want to do a quick.
I'm curious
to
about
your
that.
question. I want to do a quick flash poll. I give production the heads up. A flash poll. It is yes or no. That's all. No other words other than yes or no. Now that Bernie Sanders is the leader nationwide in the Democratic polls, can Bernie Sanders, if he is the nominee, based on our positioning of February 19th, can he win the election? Yes or no? Misty?
No.
Josie?
Yes.
Ron?
No.
No? Power?
Yes.
No.
Hear the table? There's great fear. That's what is at stake tonight in the debate. We want to move on out of the exchange that we've just had on racism to swallow something. And we are going to play our game, I'd Swallow That, and we have these shots here. And how this game works, Misty, you're getting ready to get pretty drunk because I'm sure you're getting ready to...
Lie.
right?
On coke.
Yeah. All right. So we are playing I'd Swallow That. And what's going to happen is I'm going to ask a question of the host, and I'm going to ask them to agree. And if they do agree, they take the shot. If they don't agree, then they put the shot down or they don't pick it up at all. Were you a hostess in a previous life?
Yes!
Because you're doing a
I've been
magnificent
an
job.
event planner. I'm a party planner.
Okay, all right. And play along with us at home, America. This is a fun game, and it's a nice way to do a couple of shots. All right, everybody understand the rules?
Yes.
Ready to
Sure.
play?
Let's do it.
Misty,
Go for it.
you guest host, you're here. All right.
Let's go.
Question number 1. I'd swallow that. I am a covers hog.
Oh yeah.
That's my husband. My husband is a huge covers hog.
Yeah.
Not me.
Now, does covers and hog in bed mean something that I'm unaware of?
Hog in bed definitely means something you're unaware of. It's a sexual term. Being
You're
a
gay,
pig,
Bonnie.
being loose.
I
and
personally
fun
thought it was
and-
someone who wanted to sing covers. I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
That's the first thing you go in bed. I'd see having in bed in it. It's one of the
Really?
sentences having in bed at the end.
I'm thinking in bed. That's where my mind went.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely in bed. I'm sure that's what the
band hog.
producers.
Nah, I could be a covers hog, but I
Karaoke,
prefer.
it's fine.
I'm the guy that needs all the covers on me, but also that needs to be naked because it's like a Julia of the Wolves thing. I don't want to sweat and make my clothing wet.
Bueller.
But I have to have.
You are.
When I get cold, I
Bueller.
cuddle up next
Thinking of me naked under the covers is not detention. You shush it.
My goodness. You took the shot. You have a hubby in Central Florida. He just lives with you being a covers hog.
Well, he has learned over.
To be subservient to cover hog power.
He's learned to be smart enough to buy big enough covers so that when I'm rolling around and taking up most of the cover, he still has a little bit left.
Okay.
I have a suggestion for you. When I was in Sweden, they set the bed with 2
Yeah.
covers.
Yeah, that's
so you
exactly-
should
yeah.
just do that, and then
Okay.
there's no
Very
need.
simple
Yeah,
solution.
but then you want to cuddle. I want skin contact with my husband when I'm sleeping. And if we each have our own blanket, we're not touching. I like to touch.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd swallow that. Let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2. I'd swallow that. I am the person, by the way, and we've been talking, this one we all know about, and I'm getting ready to school these bitches, including you. I'd swallow that. I am the person at this table with the most shoes. Oh, I can't wait. Wait, you're going to come into this?
Here's the thing.
You're getting into the ring with these 3 powerhouses?
Yeah.
I got a lot of shoes.
I want to hear this.
I'm not sure if I have the most, but I have a lot. I inherited a.
It
50,
says the
yes,
most.
and that's why I haven't taken it yet.
Stop.
I inherited an enormous shoe collection from an alpha who had a foot fetish. So I got like 50, at least just Adidas and Nike.
50
and, yeah.
is your big number?
Hello. There we go. Thank you. Silence.
You gotta do
there we
something
go.
about that.
We've
I haven't
silenced.
taken it yet.
We have silenced the millennium. All right.
To be fair, he
all right.
taking the
Ding,
spot.
ding, ding. Let's get ready to rumble.
Lord.
Tell us, Power.
Okay, so we have a fetish in my house, especially my husband. He is obsessed with shoes, and we wear the same size. Literally every single
Size 8.
But a 6 feels so good at work.
I love you. Got
So
that
literally
joke.
every single day we have a delivery of shoes. Every single day, except for the days that that they don't deliver.
How many pairs of shoes are we talking
I
about?
do not know.
Guess.
Like every day of the year, that would
Every
be
day,
365.
every day we get a knock, an Amazon, and shoes.
Is that like a shoe club?
No, he's just obsessed with shoes.
Wait. I'm getting a little less confident here.
For how many years have you gotten 365 pairs of shoes?
Well, we've been together for 17 years, and he's probably really.
That's 17 times 300. I'm out.
Matt.
You better have a
But I have an
It's not just a
entire
closet, it's a
walk-in
couple
closet
closets
and
and a
drag
garage.
Wow.
full of shoes.
You have a garage.
And a garage.
I was
full
going to
of-
be the
full of
trump card here of
boxes
going,
shoes.
I have an entire bedroom just covered in shoes. I have everything. Literally, I have everything. And so now I'm going to have to retreat into the quality of my shoes.
But here's the better question. How many shoes do you actually wear?
That's a good question. You know,
'Cause I have tons.
If you have so many shoes, and like Kyle will always ask me, he'll always be like, oh, have you worn these shoes? Well, we have so many shoes. There's only so many days in the year. I can't possibly wear every shoe.
You know they have Goodwill? Have you heard of that?
We actually give a lot of our shoes.
Do you?
to
Well,
Yeah,
Ron,
well, very good.
I know you're
All
doing
right.
it just for the
Wait,
record. This is the first shoe.
I
This is
wanna
the
know,
first
how
shoe
long did you
conversation
keep
we've
your
had.
shoes for?
I have shoes from like
Well,
2005.
if you only wear
Year to
them
year?
once or twice a year, you keep them forever.
I have a lot of drag shoes.
I have
I've never
boots.
worn.
Yeah.
Bought for beauty
Boy,
parties.
Ron, I have Louis Vuitton shoes that I
gonna
would
go
never
give my
throw
wife a
away
kiss.
until my death. Never. Shoes are so important.
But when you're in entertainment, when you think like I'm going to wear this evening gown, and you have
Right.
shoes made just for that gown, and they're stoned, you've
Sure.
worn them
Exactly.
twice ever.
And that's it.
Or you
Okay.
buy shoes that you can dye. or-
America,
Extra.
I'm proving to you that
Oh, wait,
Power's
everybody
husband,
at home.
breaking news, America. Power's husband has just communicated into the production staff and says it is hundreds of pairs. Plus, don't even get me started on all the drag pumps. All right? So it's a lot. I thought for sure I was going to win this. I am a big man, and I'm proving it, America. Power wins. Question number 2.
I'm
All
only
right.
like maybe 700. maybe.
Let's go to I'd swallow that question number 3. Oh goodness. I'm in detention. Question number 3. I'd swallow that. Star Trek is better than Star Wars.
Wait, say Trek.
Star Trek.
Trek.
I hear
E,
track
not an
every
A.
time.
Yeah.
Every time I hear
Not an
Star
E.
Trek.
Is better
Track.
than Star Wars.
I don't have an opinion on this.
What? There's
You-
only one right answer, and it's this. This is the right answer. Drink up.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Napoleon,
actually-
Peer
I
pressuring me to
agree.
I was
have
actually
an opinion.
afraid that Napoleon was going to lambast me for drinking.
No, I'm peer pressuring you to drink. Yes, so do it. It's for your own
Yes.
benefit.
I'm glad
do
on
it.
this one I got on
So
Napoleon's
Star
good
Trek.
side.
Star Trek
Do
is-
you like either one?
I'm surprised.
Republicans don't really like entertainment, do they?
We do. What do you think? If I didn't like entertainment, I wouldn't be sitting here. I
Yeah.
love it.
Okay.
But I will tell you that I personally think that Star Wars is my favorite.
I know why.
However,
I
I did grow up in a society where you would open your fingers and say, "What is it? Live long,
Live long and prosper.
Well, that's
Yeah.
There you go. Live long and prosper,
I'm surprised at Napoleon because
I'm
I
gonna
really
finish
thought
this
that
off.
Napoleon's
Because of
answer
the
was
newish
gonna be
hacking,
Star
yeah.
Wars.
You know why Star Trek is so great? First, for me, it's so great.
The first
because-
black kiss on TV.
Yes, Uhura.
No, Star Trek changed the course of history. Star Trek came out.
I'm agreeing with you.
Star Trek came out at a time when people's thoughts of the future, when the cultural perception of the future was desolate, where we thought that UFOs were coming and that we couldn't trust where science was going. It was post-Cold
The
War. It was terror.
communicator is our
Yeah.
flip phone. It created so many institutional images. Our new Space Force logo.
Roddenberry is the creator, correct?
Yes, Gene Roddenberry.
Roddenberry. He is a witch. He changed the face of the Earth by making people positively look forward to the future. Star Wars is literally just everyone dies by technology. Of course, the Republican likes that.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
But they are trendsetters. Star Trek did change history, and they did change the movement. And they are the first TV show ever to have an interracial kiss.
Yeah,
I
love
Yeah,
Star
but
Trek.
if Star Wars was a
TV
series, where would we be right now? Would we still be in the same conversation?
That's a great observation.
Yeah,
But woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda,
And
shoulda.
Napoleon, I finished my shot. I was going to do half shot, but I finished it because I actually fell asleep in the last Star Wars.
Good for you. I appreciate that.
Okay. All right, let's move on. I'd swallow that. We're going to move to our final question. Question number 4. I'd swallow that. You've got a shot. Everybody have?
Yep.
I'm loving 2020 so far.
Thank God.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Man.
I don't know. You're in jail right now, so what do you think?
Well, I'm loving 2020 broadly.
I was failing 2019. By
Who's in jail?
It was hard for me.
He makes the
beginning.
joke because I'm going to sit next to him.
Oh.
There's so much truth. That's not a joke.
I was like, Facebook jail? Really, Al?
Oh,
Wow.
no. Wait, excuse me. I am not Power Infinity.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard.
Nor Dale tonight.
Yes, right. Anybody not take the shot?
Oh, I did, definitely.
Everybody
Wait,
took the
I
shot.
didn't take
Okay.
it. I didn't take it.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, what happened?
Tell us
Was you
why.
sick?
Well, no. Well, I mean, it's definitely better than 2019, but I wouldn't say I'm loving it. I mean, it's already turned us already. I mean, January.
The politics.
Yeah,
Is that
January
what
felt
is?
like 6
It's
months.
waving. I know. See, that's my pause. And I thought, I'm not sure that I want to do that because I agree with you. January was a mammoth year.
It was,
So wait,
that's a great way of putting it.
I know.
That's a great way of putting
Howard,
it.
what is the last year that you remember loving?
14.
Probably
1999 at South
probably-
Beach.
Oh, that was a great year.
I don't know. Loving probably
21.
2012 before my friend.
Okay,
wanted
well,
it.
we got to work on changing that because
Yeah.
we can't allow the world around us to create that situation. So we got to work on that. All right, let's move out of I'd Swallow That. We play it every week. We have a lot of fun doing it. Let's move into Celebrity Hot Topics. And a couple of things that we want to bring to your attention that are fascinating us at It's Happening Out this week. First, to research her role in Hustlers, Constant Wu revealed this week that she became a stripper in preparation for her role. Actually became a stripper. Is that going too far, or should she be commended for that? Before we talk about that, watch what we prepared on it.
You really had to fight. You really had to fight to get this role. But what was it about this character, Destiny, that made you want to play her so badly?
Well, at the time I was actually looking for a character who explored loneliness, really, because at the heart of this movie, it's about friendship and loneliness. Because I think our country is so polarized now, and social media makes people really lonely in a way that I think storytelling should address.
Yeah.
And when I read this, I saw that in the character of Destiny, and furthermore, she's a stripper, and most people, the judgment stops there. They see that somebody's a stripper, and then they assume so many things about them. And as an actor, you want to explore people's character beyond the stereotypes and the assumptions. And the script really allowed all the girls to explore these characters in multifaceted ways. So they're people who do this rather than they're just strippers. They're people who strip for a living because they need to pay the bills.
So, researching for a role to actually perform in a men's club as a stripper. What do you think about what we learned this week?
All right, so she's jumping in with the idea of method acting and actually going in Marilyn Monroe style, James Dean style, and really getting into her character's headspace, really getting into what makes it the person that it is. And that's something that we just saw as well with Joker. And he won the award for Best Actor, Joaquin Phoenix. But he wanted to physically fight. He wanted to live out the character. He didn't want to rehearse. He just wanted to do it. And these are two extremes of what method acting can do. And that's where I think this conversation's gotten so crazy because some people end up killing themselves. Marilyn Monroe, we're going to go back to because they're such intense method actors. And then other people endanger other people in the case of Joker. Or here, maybe she didn't hurt anybody, but she just was putting herself in the mind. The question is that really the work or is that that just
What do y'all think?
cheating
I
out?
applaud her. I think congratulations. I think that some Hollywood actors think that they're above it. Now, granted, I think if Jennifer Lopez were to put herself in disguise, people would still recognize her. You know, I don't think that she could be safe in that environment. But she
got away with it.
Yeah, she totally
For
would get
sure.
away with it. I applaud her. She won her $600 on the first night. Good for her. Go. She's
Right.
not above it. I mean,
Right.
there are many people in the sex industry, and I applaud her.
Yeah. Any other thoughts here?
Yeah, I just think it's important that, she's also willing to put herself out there and take the risk of the judgment that comes along with doing that. And you mentioned method acting. You know, if a man had a similar role, would we even make this topic
Actually,
important?
an interesting point.
I wonder how much it is that she really wants to understand the role, or how much is publicity.
Yeah.
And I kind of figure that this kind of thing
that was a
is more
twist.
publicity.
I don't even know that she was doing it for publicity because it was years ago.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah.
so
Hustlers.
you could
But
get
she's
ready.
really good at that. She's on a hit show, Fresh Off the Boat. She's the mom on that show. She was also in Crazy Rich Asians, and she's a known actress at this point. She has had other, you could call them stunts like this, where she said, "Oh, I don't want to be on that show anymore. I want to be able to do more work."
Josie
So-
asked the most interesting question to me on this topic because just last week I went into a very fun bar here in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, called Hunters. It's a lively dance bar. And Napoleon was up on a box and he was dancing and kind of, he wasn't stripping, but it was kind of like what you experience when you go to
was
Johnson's.
exotic.
And I asked him what he was doing, and he said he was preparing for a role. And it was like, dude, there's no role you were preparing for.
Okay, I know that I'm not about to be up for an audition, so you can come find me still. I have all work online. However, if you were just looking to tip me, you don't have to come to tip me in person. I can have an OnlyFans ready for you. Just get it ready.
Right. I tipped him a quarter. He did great. All right, let's move into another topic in
pens, too.
Celebrity Hot Topics. It's Black History Month, as we've been talking about it. It's happening out each week. It has long been claimed that Malcolm X was a sex worker when he was in a young age and a bisexual. It got us wondering about Malcolm X. How would that revelation have been received if it came out in the 1960s compared to what we're thinking about it today? Before we talk about that, let us show you this little documentary preview about Malcolm X.
In 1942, he moved to Harlem, and at age 17 began traveling in a world of after-hour clubs and small-time hustlers.
He had reached a point of where he said, "You'll never make it on these janitor jobs and selling sandwiches on these trains and shining shoes and stuff like that. So you never will get anywhere."
Well, he had the reputation as being a hustler. And he was a street person, but he was a hustler. He was a con man. Yeah, con artist. They call him an artist.
When I saw this news, frankly, I was shocked. I really was, I have to say. It shocked me. It did. What do y'all think?
I was not shocked. When you're from a marginalized community and you are struggling to make ends meet and you got to pay rent and you have to pay your bills, you got to do what you got to do. And I would never judge him for
I wasn't judging, but it did shock me.
Well, it would definitely change the conversation now, and we talk about it all the time. Like, which community has the biggest problem with LGBT, right? And you always say, the black community is very unforgiving, right? Well, wouldn't that change the no homo rule if one of the most, I guess you could say, inspirational black leaders who was maybe possibly even toxic masculinity at the time come out as
if he actually
homosexual.
well, it was bisexual.
No,
it
he
was
wasn't.
asserted,
He was not
and that was just put together from I think it was Bruce Perry's 400 excerpts from other people that actually knew him as a fanboy. He put that together. But what
I'm curious. Power is our black expert at the table.
He has experience.
What did you think about this story?
Well, the question is, how would the news have been received today as opposed to in the 60s? And I think that by the world standards today, clearly it would have been received a lot more open-minded and it would have been received a lot better. However, in the black community, and especially because he was a member of the Nation of Islam, I don't really see too much difference in how it would have been received.
I agree.
Then and now, because the homophobia is still very high and still very
Name
rampant.
one super celebrity person of color that's out as a homosexual.
Lil
Granted,
Nas.
I'm not saying he's
Only
homosexual.
that Lil Nas child. But he is. The reason I specifically mentioned the Nation of Islam is because Lil Nas has kind of gone mainstream, and so like I said, mainstream would have accepted Malcolm X, but because of Malcolm X's position as a black civil rights leader from the Nation of
Howard,
Islam,
you have
it would
just
have not gone
fascinated
over.
me there in your observation.
Ain't
I
nothing changed.
want to ask
I
you
agree.
specifically. Malcolm X, love him, hate him, whichever way you felt, as a civil rights leader, but definitely a leadership voice in the black community in the 1960s and into the 70s, would have for sure on this news been completely rejected in the
Yes.
white community.
Oh, yeah.
The white
Today,
community,
in
absolutely.
2020, he probably would be completely accepted in the white community and in reverse, completely rejected in the black community.
yeah.
What do you think about where the black community is?
If he had come out with this news in the black community in the 60s, he wouldn't have had no platform. He would not have been able to do the things that he did because nobody would listen to him.
Yeah, but my question specifically points to how far, in many ways, America has come. But in this example, the white community has come much farther than the black community. What do you think about that? Wait, hold on one second.
Well,
Please.
as a black person coming from the black community, trust me, I agree.
Yeah.
I have myself walked out of many a club where, on South Beach, where it's blacks, my own fellow blacks, that have walked by, faggot, thrown things, this, that, and they are way more disparaging than whites. So the black community still has something to deal with, still has that homophobia that we need to deal with. And I think a lot of it is rooted in our religious, in our religious sanctum.
We have the
You know what I'm
platform
saying?
here.
The Baptist, conservative Baptist, where the African American community after slavery really ran to in order for acceptance, and I think that's very true. I'm talking about him, or we're talking about him in 1960s. It would have destroyed the black community, the movement for civil rights. Yeah. It would have given the whites more power to say, "Here, we don't want them to have the rights." It would have really changed history a lot. So I commend them for keeping it quiet. I commend that, and I actually think that right now, bringing this out during this month is not doing a favor for him or towards the whites. You're actually causing problems in the African American community, because now you're beginning to create what type of leaders do we have, and that's not the attitude that we should have. We should be supportive of the leadership that is right now in the black community, and hopefully change.
I think the reason that this was pointed out was not to disparage him, but certainly just to shed light on the fact that so many important and prominent leaders were LGBT community members, and whether you like it or whether you hate it, that fact should not be hidden. It has been hidden for a long time. I only heard about it today for the first time.
I want to take a quick flash poll, heads up to production, because I'm curious to that observation. Malcolm X had the ability to, it wasn't until the end of this decade that Stonewall happens. Right. Okay, and the start. Led by black drag queens and transsexuals.
And the Latino.
And Latinos too.
A lot of people thought that he would be part of the LGBT movement if he had lived.
Right, okay, and to that point that you just make, if he would have done more in the 1960s, how much farther would we be today if he took a strong leadership role? Do you think we would be farther today if Malcolm X took that role in the LGBT community? Yes or no? Only yes or no, please.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I can't really answer that.
I'm going to push you one more time. Would we be farther today if Malcolm X was an LGBT leader in the 1960s?
If he took the same energy that he took toward civil rights and put it toward the gay community, I think that we'd already have a gay president right now.
If he was even really bisexual, or if it was just sex work.
Well, gender's fluid, sexuality is fluid, and that's a great.
Either way, he would have been assassinated.
He had 6 kids. He had 6 girls. So he obviously was not a homosexual, but he was either pan or black.
Yeah, We've had this discussion before. We're not going to go down this road.
No.
He might have been this, he might have been that, but he wasn't straight.
That
is
exactly
true.
right.
As an LGBT person. But pan wasn't a word back then.
And what comes out of this conversation that I think is so fascinating is this documentary now must be watched. I haven't watched it yet, but now I'm fascinated.
Now I want to watch it too.
I want to watch it now from this conversation. And we have an obligation, as it relates to the black community, we have an obligation for the LGBT community. We can't affect principally the black community, but we can affect the black community that is LGBT. And we should be talking about this frequently and in substance.
And that's
which
why
is
they
what
have
we
me
do.
on the show, because I'm the black expert.
Yes, he's the black expert.
Just notified.
He just, by the way, Power Infinity only learned of this last week. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the best thing of the week. Let's do something a little lighter. When we do the best thing of the week, we try to show you something that catches our eye in video. And of course, it's usually to do with science or in a college classroom or something like that. You know, that's the kind of stuff I really like. I got outvoted this week. And I'm a little disappointed about it because this is what happened for the best thing of the week with the production staff. And it's called Muscle Boys and Monkeys. Watch this. I just want to tell you, I love monkeys. That's all I was watching.
Makes me want a banana.
Monkeys.
Can he feed me a banana right now? He was just doing little pieces.
What was that even a commercial for? Like, did anyone notice what was it for monkeys?
I was thinking about what
maybe it was a travel video.
Yeah, right. It was a BBC
an underwear
nature
commercial?
special. It was a nature special.
It's amazing. You know, while we sit here and we ogle and, you know, gobble over the guys, but, you know, the monkeys, those monkeys cannot be bothered. All they want is
your banana.
They just want they just want the grub.
Actually, Howard, I was thinking the exact same thing. If I was on that beach, that's all I would be doing too. I want your banana, right?
That part.
Oh, wait.
Have you guys ever seen an interaction with monkeys live? Like a physical monkey interaction?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone has. I thought that was an uncommon thing, but I guess everyone just plays with
I've been to Bali, so.
Now, I just want to point out, this is why I'm in detention. I tell a good banana joke, and he adds that.
He looks like a banana, though.
All right, let's move on. What's on your mind? Every week we do this new segment about what's on your mind, and we ask all of the hosts, and I even ask my detention partner here at my end of the table, what's on your mind? Because it's very interesting, and I'm so tempted to come to Misty Eyes first, wanting to know what's on your mind. But instead of doing that, I'm going to start with my friend Napoleon Place. Tell us what's on your mind.
This week, I have been thinking a lot about how to strengthen personal relationships. My mom got sick a little bit over the weekend, and my first thought was, coronavirus, I have to go home and take care of you. And obviously, that's extreme. But it made me start to evaluate conversations with Al, continue to evaluate, and then the people that are around me. What am I doing to really deepen my relationships? Am I just looking for a hookup on Grindr? Am I going out on dates with them just because I find some physical connection, or because I'm enjoying being with them? And that has been exhibited in everything else that I'm doing. So
Were you able to answer that question?
It's electric with him, but we barely speak the same language. So I don't know, but it's been really intriguing, and I like how I feel when I'm with him. But that was almost what was on my mind. But then I realized it wasn't on my mind.
Okay, all right. Josie, I'll come to you. What's on your mind?
All right. Well, so I have to give a shout out to a woman. Her name is Jasmine Wright. She's a teacher, and she has a video that's gone viral saying, we're going to push through. right? And she's teaching and empowering young kids to celebrate resilience and in the face of adversity. So, it says, what if it's too hard, she chants. And they said, I'm going to push through. And they do this whole body movement and gets them fired up. They said, what if it's too tough? I'm going to push through. And what if you're just too dumb? Oh, that ain't true. And what if you just can't do it? That ain't true. And why? Because I can do anything I put my mind to. And when we continue to empower young kids, that's powerful.
Excellent. And Ron, let's come to you. What's on your mind?
I was talking or thinking about what we talked about just a couple of minutes about the issue about being bisexual or whatever, gay in the African American community. And it seems to me that it's that fact that we, the LGBT community, really have advanced. Not as much as we should, but we have advanced. I was just thinking the first time I went to a gay marriage in Spain, not in the United States. It wasn't illegal in Spain, in the United States yet. And how much it is right now to see a candidate, though I am a Republican, who's gay, running for president. I think that's fabulous. And shortly we will have President Trump will be naming the ambassador of Germany to a cabinet post. So who is openly gay? And I think that is absolutely amazing.
Wait. Let's pause because that's breaking news.
Yes.
What you're saying is President Trump is going to appoint the ambassador of Germany.
Yes.
And
Richard Grenell.
And do you know the cabinet post?
He is going to be
acting director
of national security, intelligence.
National intelligence. If he takes that position, he's appointed, he will be the first LGBT person in history as a cabinet position. Wow.
We have to move forward in both parties.
Very big news.
That was strategic. That was strategic.
No, it wasn't.
But
no,
wait.
It isn't. We shouldn't be talking about that. We should be proud even if it's right
y'all are
or
gonna
left.
talk over me.
Getting
so you're
the
going to talk over
LGBT
me.
voice.
All right, Misty, let's come to you. What's on your mind?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things on my mind. Right now I'm taking 3 classes and it's midterm week next week. Those are some stressors on my brain right now. Currently I'm a 4.0 GPA.
Yeah, go girl.
What are you pursuing your degree in?
I'm actually I'm tying up some loose ends in my undergrad to go back and get my MSW.
Which is?
Master's in Social Work.
Social Work, great.
Also, next month is Women's History Month. And a lot of things, I've been asked to speak on a couple things. And one of the things that's really on my mind right now is something you just said. You are going to fail. Period. That is not an option. Life is going to kick you in the face. Then it's going to kick you in the chest and it's going to kick you in the stomach. It's how we overcome those hurdles and it's how we overcome those obstacles. And if you get back up and you go out into life, that's what makes you. The only way you're not going to fail is if you never do anything. And that's failing in and of itself. If you don't get out there and try, and if you don't get out there and move, and if you don't get out there and do something, that's failure. So get out there, get into the arena and fight. Yes, you're going to fail. Everyone fails. Look at Cindy Crawford. She tried 1,000,000 times to become a model, and then finally she made it. I mean, all of us have.
Right. Well, congratulations on the education pursuit, and we wish you all the luck on that. And finally, we come to Power Infinity. What's on your mind?
Well, I am excited about the launch of my new voter registration campaign.
Woo!
It's called Pump to Vote. And myself and fellow outspoken drag diva Catherine Nevitz have put together this campaign, and we are taking it all over Central Florida and really trying to rally our community to get out there, get excited, get registered, and pumped up to vote. The first one is going to be at Parliament House. Thankfully, Darcel Stevens, the legendary Darcel Stevens, is going to be doing it with us. And we're going to have tons of entertainment. We're going to have food. We're going to have, it's a daytime tea dance party. I will be spinning with 2 other fellow DJs. And we're just going to have a really, really good time, but with the focus on getting people who are not registered to vote signed up to vote.
Absolutely awesome. And America Power and our Florida viewers, of course, Power can't see it because of his positioning, but It's Happening Out is really a supporter of this concept of Power's development of Pump to Vote. And when he watches this later, production has prepared video support of this event that has been playing behind your head right now. And of course, our friends at the Parliament House, legendary institution. You should go to the hotel.
Yeah.
I have been to so many fantastic hotels or parties there. It's beyond. And of course, I agree with you on Darcel Stevens. And I have to give a shout out. The owners at the Parliament House, Don and Susan Granstein, are personal friends of mine. It is a LGBT home base for Florida. And congratulations to you. This is a brilliant idea to get the vote out, and it starts with registering. So I love what.
I just want to add, it is nonpartisan. It does not matter what
that's right.
part of the aisle you fall on. Just come out and just register.
So please, let me give you an open invitation. Donald Trump, come to the Parliament House.
Not that nonpartisan.
All right, so we move out of what's on your mind, fascinating this week, and we have a special guest that we're getting ready to speak to, and that he's been on the show before. He is a guest. We asked him back because first off, he's cute as all fuck first, and
okay, tell us how you really feel.
I'm very passionate.
Very passionate. And second,
as all what?
We are doing a topic tonight about sex workers, and our guest tonight works in gay adult entertainment video, and we thought it would be great to interview him before we did our main topic tonight. So, America, we introduced to you Mark McNamara, and he is an adult film director and writer and producer at Men.com, one of the most popular houses producing adult entertainment in the United States. And Mark, we welcome you to It's Happening Out.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We are excited to have you here. Mark, I give you the heads up, panelist, host here. Mark is going to be a guest host next week.
Oh, all right.
And he is going to be on the show through the entire show. And the reason is because we're going to focus on a brand new documentary that he is getting ready to release about gay conversion therapy.
Oh, wow.
And we are going to talk about his launch of this new documentary, very important, next week at It's Happening Out. So make sure you come back. You'll get to see exactly what I think about Mark and how cute he is, but he's going to be talking a lot about a very significant subject of gay conversion therapy. Many states in the U.S. still allow it as legal.
Fortunately.
Mark, as we have you here from Men.com and what you do, first off, tell us about, we're going to talk about sex work and sex workers in the United States, especially in the LGBT community. Give us a little description of what you do and keep in every salacious detail.
Well, I direct, like you said, I direct for Men.com and Naked Sword, and I've been directing adult movies for over a decade now. And one of the biggest problems with sex work is there's 3 tiers of criminalization of sex work. And U.S., unfortunately, is in the top tier where it's criminalized for everyone, for the sellers, for the buyers, or for third-party individuals. So even little things that you don't think of, like if I'm directing a movie and I'm flying a model down to film here in South Florida, I could be arrested for sex trafficking. Those are the laws that exist in America today that they're building up more and more and more so that one day if they do want to crack down on sex work, they have the laws that they're not really active right now in pursuing, but they're building them up in case one day they wanted to.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Mark, I'm curious about some specific issues in your industry. Q News Tonight has reported in the last couple of weeks very interesting stories in gay adult entertainment. One of which is the request of several gay adult entertainers that they are not being paid enough money per scene. I'm curious about your observations on that, and also Armand Rizzo's observations that he posted very publicly that there is some discrimination in the industry in that tops are paid in gay adult entertainment, that tops are paid more money than bottoms are. And we reported on both of these stories, not saying that they were true or not, but what gay adult entertainers and performers were reporting. What do you think about those two things that were discussed at Q News tonight, Mark?
So I love Armand. He's a great person. I filmed him. He's lovely. Most of that's not true in my experience. I do think that models should be making more money. Some, I think, are making more than what they deserve. Depends on who we're talking about. But overall, I definitely think that compared to what the studios are making, models should be paid more. I have never paid a model or given more or less money to a top or a bottom. That's not how it's decided of who makes more money. It's their popularity. So we have models who are only top who are making a lot of money. We have models who are only bottom who are making a lot of money. It doesn't matter where they're sticking the dick. It matters their popularity and what's going to sell.
Well, along the line of salary, you were discussing that you've been doing this for a decade, I believe you said. One of the things that's changed significantly in that time with the internet are that a lot of stars can go out and have their own page. I jested about it earlier with OnlyFans and Just for Fans.
Oh, that was a joke?
You can still pay me, don't worry. But no, it's a serious question because that has changed the industry in the last 10 years. How many of people that you work with do you have that have a private site as well? And what is that relationship with the films that you create?
A lot of them do have a private site or an OnlyFans or a Just for Fans or whatever they have. How I see it is that's the reality show. People might still want to see a reality show with Brad Pitt, but then they're also going to go and pay money to see his movie. It's the well-polished, well-executed, the quality is there. That doesn't mean the reality show can't exist, and these models should be making any supplemental income that they can, and if that's an OnlyFans or a subscription site, go for it. But that's not hurting my money. That's not hurting the studio's money. We're doing just fine, and everyone should be able to have a piece.
You know, Mark, it's interesting to me, traveling internationally, really all over the world, so many people outside of the LGBT community almost always comment on gay adult entertainment generally, but gay adult entertainment. And really because in gay adult entertainment, a very gigantic percentage of our community completely embrace gay adult entertainment. It is not a morality issue. It is not a question at all. Some of our most popular personalities in America, have you been to Prague, are gay adult entertainment performers. Mark, I'm curious, what do you think accounts for that? Why does the gay community embrace gay adult entertainment in the degrees that we embrace it? We love it.
I think that that's partially true. In my experience, it's not fully true. I get messages all the time of people telling me how disgusting I am because I direct porn, how awful it is that I'm, adding this to the community. And that's why I try to have something important to say with the films, and it's not just the pizza guy. But yeah, you do have lovely
by
fans.
the way, the pizza guy is here.
Is he?
From Jet's Pizza.
Okay, good.
And I believe he's straight, and he just said, "Oh no, you didn't."
No, we're happy about it, and I can't wait. I don't know who you're going to fuck tonight, but I'm very excited about it.
Clearly, this straight woman.
Hello.
Good. Good.
All right.
I'll film that for free.
Wait,
But,
this took a turn that I was not expecting.
It will always. It will always.
Mark, we wanted to do a little tease about setting up the big topic that we're going to talk about in a couple of moments, and also talk about you as a guest host next week. We're very excited that you're going to be a guest host at It's Happening Out. Tell us a little bit about your new documentary on gay conversion therapy.
So it's called A Murdered Heart, and it's on Naked Sword. The second episode is premiering today, so go to nakedsword.com and check it out. It is, in short, not to get too much into it till before next week, it is about a series of events that happen to, we all have gone through torture or we've all been hurt, and when hurt people are hurt, they hurt others, or they make a decision that may change their life or impact someone else. And in this story, it leads to conversion therapy because someone has done something so awful or been hurt so bad that they've kind of placed that hurt onto someone else and have tried to control them in their sexuality. And what happens when your sexuality is finally allowed to be? What are you going to do next? So that's kind of what a murder heart is
Mark,
about.
I have to tell you, we're going to end because we're going to do a lot more conversation in our main topic tonight. But we thank you for being at It's Happening Out. And we all, honestly, here at the table in production are very proud of even having you on the show from Men.com. And the reason is because we explore completely and in depth. We are not any one thing. We all represent that at this table, and Mark, you sitting here represents a sizable percentage of our community in different ways, and so we love being able to explore gay culture and gay community, and Mark is an example of it. Bright, industrious, smart, and brings something very interesting to our community about gay conversion therapy. We're going to talk all about this next week as Mark McNamara becomes a guest host at It's Happening Out, and we're going to tell you a lot more about that. Mark, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for using the word sizable.
Mark, we haven't met yet.
I don't want to step on the pizza guy's toes.
Okay,
We'll wait for him.
all right. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to a game. We're going to move into, and we'll be showing that next week. We're going to move into our game Saved by the Bell. This is a lightning round of LGBTQ topics in the news this week and other headlines. We do this as a little flash conversation of 60 to 90 seconds on each of the topics that we talk about. If these bitches talk too long, that's what you're going to hear, and they are required to stop in mid-sentence. I know you, being highly educated, pursuing your masters, will follow the rules.
I'm a very rule follower.
I'm in detention. So
this running joke just keeps on falling down.
No. All right.
I'm trying to make fetch happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. All right. So everybody understands the rules. Are we ready to be saved by the bell? Saved by the bell. Topic number 1. Trump goes on a clemency spree, letting a bevy of crooks and criminals out of jail. What do y'all think?
I feel like this is like Batman Returns, and Joker's been and Penguin has been like released on the Dark City, and Donald Trump is releasing all of the crazy people from Arkham and all of the crazy people from jail, and that's what's happening.
Yeah,
that was literally the first thing that I saw, and now describing it as a spree, I'm thinking of him like going down kind of Oprah style, and you get a car, and you get a car, but it's like, and you get out of jail, and you commit more crimes, and you commit more
That's
crimes.
not the way I see it. The way I see it is the president right now is we really have to reform criminal justice. And I think it's like last night where he pardoned a young lady 35 years for a crime that really shouldn't be that type of time given to her.
Who, the one that was a part of the $200 million
Well,
scam
again,
on
or Julian Assange.
Again, this is you've got to get and read the facts before we make an opinion. I will tell you honestly, it must be changes. Some of these laws are absolutely asinine.
But heard loud and clear.
Assange?
Let me change. Yeah, let me change. You do that. Set that.
It's one thing to
Breaking
say that for
news
general
this
people.
afternoon, by the way.
It's one thing to say he should be pardoning other people.
Right to the point, because I'm going to cut you off.
The people that you're saying that he's pardoning are people that should not be pardoned. They're not low criminal levels. They have committed serious crimes.
Julian
Assange is one of the best examples of that. He wanted to pardon him today. You think that he should be pardoned?
This is a strategic move. It's a re-election year. He's appointing a gay person. He's releasing the people from prison. Hey, vote for me. Re-elect me.
Should Ron have been pardoned?
Do you support Julian Assange? It's a simple question.
I don't.
Anybody concerned that all this is doing is setting up the Roger Stone pardon that's getting ready to come? Saved by the Bell, number 2. Bloomberg calls out Sanders' Bernie Bros for an over-the-top attack. This commercial has just been released. Whew, watch this. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had the
it was
the
too
video
brutal to show.
Okay, all right. He calls out the Bernie Bros. What do y'all think about what Bloomberg did on Sanders?
Well, describe. I mean, they've been going back.
I want to make sure everybody knows. I'm sorry, we're having a little bit of sound problem because I know on mic it can be heard. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, what exactly is he calling out? Because they've been going back and forth over different things.
He is specifically talking about all of the supporters. No, not all. Some of the supporters of Sanders going on really vicious social media.
It's got a lot of tweets and another.
What is the new thing that they've been going back and forth, and which will be discussed in the debate, is the fact that Bernie's health issue. Health is at issue, where they've been asking for him to release his medical records, and his national spokesman came on and said, well, it's unfair that they asked for Bernie to release his medical records because Bloomberg also had a heart attack, which he never did. It was a lie. And she had to go back and backtrack and say she misspoke. So, they're really going at it because of that.
Who could ever hope to be healthy compared to Trump? Come on.
We go to Saved by the Bell number 3. A Catholic school in Seattle looks to have fired 2 gay teachers because they got engaged on Valentine's Day. What do you think?
Oh, I think that's beautiful that they're engaged. But why can they work there as out gay people, but now that they're engaged, being married, they're fired? Well, that doesn't make sense.
That's part of the problem. This actually happened right outside of Seattle, and the Archdiocese has been protested by a lot of people that live there, saying you can't do this. These are our favorite teachers. Yesterday, the students actually organized a sit-in protest to try to combat, because these are 2 really beloved teachers that are engaged with 2 separate people, and were given no real reason. It's stated that it's not because they're gay, but it's because they're gay.
The hypocrisy of the Catholic Church is quite huge. You hear the Pope Francis say, don't judge anybody, love the gays, love everybody, and here you allow your own members of your church to fire those individuals. So therefore, there is a conflict there, what the Pope says and what the local organizations of the church say, and I think that's really disgusting.
So I think the principle of the matter is one thing I think that we can all agree on. But my question is, this is a private school. I'm assuming
they can do whatever they want.
It's a private school,
Absolutely.
so a private school can do what they want to do, and they have those rules and protocols and guidelines already set. My question is, the teachers knew what they were signing up for when they decided to work for this
Interesting
school.
observation. The
But
cake
were
is
they
baked.
loved already?
We moved on to Saved by the Bell number 4, and we talk about climate change. Welcome to It's Happening Out.
It's okay.
A pilot lands a 394-ton A380 sideways because of a hurricane that hit the United Kingdom over Dennis.
It's
the
that big
hurricane
airplane in the video.
my God.
We're showing it
Wow.
behind you, and the plane did what is called a crab landing. What do y'all think?
I think that's talent.
Besides the pilot's talent,
I would have
having
been scared
a
out of my
hurricane,
mind.
right? Having a hurricane
87-mile winds.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
this
the
is
bigger
Heathrow, exactly. This is at Heathrow Airport. But a hurricane in February hitting the United Kingdom in the North Atlantic.
It looks
What's
like it's
going
about to
on
be
with
pulled
our
apart.
climate?
The wind is about to pull apart the
Climate
airplane.
change is real, guys.
Oh, but I mean, did this hurricane just
You
come
don't
out of the
believe in
clear blue
climate
sky, or I mean, did they not have meteorologists to see that this hurricane was coming? Why
wasn't this? They did, but I think the big story is that we're having a hurricane in the Northern Atlantic in February.
The giant.
That is scary.
It's scary.
Very scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think to me the big story is why were they flying in a hurricane?
Yeah, they didn't know.
To me, that would be the same one. Yeah.
We'll leave that as
China.
the soundbite. All right, Saved by the Bell number 5. AOC tells drag haters, because she's going to be a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. I know how much you love that.
Season 12.
Had to get that in.
Had to get that in. AOC tells drag haters, hey, you can go back to Party City on Twitter.
Who's AOC?
Alexandria.
Yes, the congresswoman.
New York.
From, New York.
What do y'all think about Sharon Needles' slam? Party City?
It's interesting that she would choose to be on the losing side of this sentence, because clearly Sharon Needles won that endeavor, and Fifi O'Hara was my favorite of the season,
It's
but
a
she's clearly
joke.
gone.
It's a joke.
Is it just to get the gays excited? Did it excite us gays?
AOC.
You look kind of bitter.
I wouldn't even get the joke because I don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh my gosh, I didn't.
I had to get that in.
For the 57th time.
I wouldn't mind watching RuPaul. The one I would never watch is where
By the way,
AOC is there. Who
By
the
the
hell
way,
cares about her?
by the way, Bron, RuPaul is a drag queen.
I know that.
She has a television
That's okay.
show.
We understand.
All right.
But
I
the
also
one who's
don't
going to
watch
be
the
the
show,
one
for the
that I wouldn't watch
Power.
would definitely be because of the Congress person.
Yes.
I mean, I know what Party City is, and I don't know if I get the joke either. So
Neither do
I'm
I.
on that.
I did watch that season. One of the queens, Fifi O'Hara from Chicago, told Sharon Needles that with her cheap Halloween drag that she should go shop at Party City.
Yeah, go back to Party City where
At
you
least
belong.
I am a showgirl, bitch. Go back to Party City where
All
you
right.
belong.
Saved by the Bell number
there we
6.
go.
Elton John was in Auckland this week, and he cuts his concert short in tears with the announcement about his health. Reportedly, Elton John weighs in the 290s of weight. He was diagnosed with pneumonia and could not complete the concert.
Why did he
He was
start?
carried off the.
He was carried off the stage. Yeah.
I've got
Does
it.
it? Are you sad about Elton John? Does it elicit emotion for you? Does your heart, Grinch, grow 3 times larger?
Oh, yes,
Grinch.
you know, as a performer, you know that the show must go on, and certainly as a performer, it's very, very hard to stop your show in the middle of anything. You really have to be very, very ill or in a bad way to
I
stop
have to
your show.
retweet that. That's totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious because we've had personal conversations about this. You used to be a lot bigger. How did
535 pounds at my maximum.
And you're
I
comfortable
knew
talking
you
about
then.
it. I know. But,
Yes,
but,
that's right. Misty and I were friends.
But how does his weight affect? Like, what is your opinion about having seen him at that weight? and level of
people
unhealth?
do not even see how he's being taken off the stage. People do not even understand. At 290, I was 535 at peak. For him to walk up those stairs was almost beyond his capability. He had to have assistance to do it because at 290, for his frame, every motion is labored for him, much less to perform for a crowd. So I agree with you in terms of your observation. The show goes on no matter what.
Would the weight have anything to do with the pneumonia?
Well, it could be because yes, I would say broadly yes, because first and foremost, his exercise routine is so fundamentally flawed that he's not moving enough.
It's more
And
stress
so,
on your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
time.
So it's stress, the pneumonia.
But I'm a large and lovely woman, and I don't
Very
get sick.
lovely.
I don't get sick.
Yes, but you probably move. You don't sit behind a piano and not move.
Also, maybe you are Mother Earth.
Saved by the
You
Bell.
stay on that.
Saved by the Bell number 7. 3 female athletes sue Connecticut over a transgender woman being allowed to compete in their sport.
That pisses me off.
Yeah, they
Why? Wait.
No, keep
why?
going.
Why?
It just makes me mad.
Remember, we only have 90 seconds, too, by the way.
Right. I have too many things to say. But how dare you say that she's not a woman? That's the whole argument. And also, let me say this. Okay. My mind's going in a million directions. I can't say one thing. Okay. The argument they're probably saying is the fact that she was born with testosterone and therefore she has an unfair advantage.
And she's stronger.
However, if she is on estrogen and if she's on spironolactone, I can't move my frickin' couch because my muscles have stopped working with my spironolactone. So she is deplenishing all.
You're trans?
I'm a real woman.
I wanted to get a little bit more of your perspective.
Let's.
But yes,
finish.
if she is on her hormone replacement therapy, she cannot function with the testosterone unfair advantage. So that is completely diminished.
Okay.
Period.
I didn't know that.
So she does
I didn't
not
either.
have an unfair advantage. In fact, she is entering under. I don't know her. If she's not on hormones, then I take that back. But if she is on her testosterone blockers specifically, girl, she's already behind. The other girls have a head start because everyone has testosterone, everyone has estrogen, but she's blocking her testosterone.
And when you said girl, are you talking about the girls or
Her
colloquial
competitor.
girl?
Her competitor.
I've always never had an opinion on this subject because I don't know enough to interject myself, and so this.
Well, you're our black representative,
right? So
there's
this is not my area of expertise.
There's something else about this case that's particularly interesting, and it's that the 3 cisgendered females that are suing are all identifying the 2 specific transgendered men. And it's not just that they're saying that
Wait, they're saying they're men?
They're in their cases, they're identifying them as males. They are saying in all legislation, no, these are actual men. How dare you say anything else? And they're identified by name. I assume dead name, but by name.
That is so wrong. That is absolutely wrong. I hope
We move on out of Saved by the Bell. That's our lightning round of interesting topics this week. And we move to our main topic of conversation, and that is about sex work.
I didn't realize it was time for my next job.
Yeah, you're supposed to be at Johnson's in about 20 minutes. Sex work. And in the LGBT community, Mark McNamara sets it up for us. We'll talk more about it with him next week. But what do y'all think about Misty's conversation at the beginning of the show in terms of Malcolm X, to Mark's conversation, to my joke about Napoleon working the box in a club? What do we think about sex work in general?
Well, to start off, because this was something that was universally accepted except by me, and the last time it was brought up with Malcolm X, I don't think that participating in non-straight sex, if it's sex work, makes you not straight. I think you could be. I think that if you're engaging in something with the person of the same sex, it might mean that you have that tendency, but it doesn't mean that you are inherently that way just because you're doing it for money.
I agree with you.
As we talk about this, we've prepared this little bit of video talking about this, and let's watch this.
My name is Hikaru Aizawa. I am king of host.
I used to be a salesman at bridal and funeral events. They don't buy it because the products are good, they buy it because they can trust you. I learned how to sell myself. When I became a host, basically I just did the same thing to women.
It's the Japanese equivalent of a psychiatrist with benefits. Talking, flirting, and maybe, just maybe, sex.
何千人見させてもらってますけど、あそこまで本当にホストっていう人はいない。プレイヤーで一番1日
As number one host, I've made as much as 200,000 US a night. When we order sushi at Dolce One, we always order omakase.
We had to know more, so we asked one of his regular customers. She declined to give personal details, saying only that she worked a, quote, day job.
I'd never been to a host club before. I honestly didn't want to because they have a bad reputation. Women being taken advantage of, spending all their money. Some spend a couple $100,000 US per night. When he is working as a host, he is the perfect man.
Women are looking for non-realistic love, virtual love. They want to have butterflies in their stomach. They want to get excited. They're looking for stimulation.
The host clubs originally were the places where women who were working in the hostess clubs went after work to be pampered and spoiled by men who pretended to like them and want to be with them, just like they've been doing for all evening.
Oh, I thought you did.
Yeah.
Well,
we're on air.
We were right. You started. Let's start there.
Oh, Jesus.
Trans seems to be an area where there is such high need that it leads to such high need. What do you think about that?
In my generation, I consider myself a dinosaur trans woman. The children, meaning I transitioned before Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh.
You know, that's what I mean. I don't mean like my archaic. I mean before it became mainstream.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
what I mean.
Thanks.
So when you're a dinosaur trans woman, and before it became mainstream, you know, as being a lesbian before Ellen, for example, like before she made it known, that was your basic reality. Like everyone in my age or older, I don't know anyone my age or older, let's put it that way, that has not done sex work. You didn't have an option.
No one.
No, except for Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know anybody my age or older.
Well, that's a billionaire family. That's why.
True. But that was your reality.
Wait, Misty, I want to provide a highlighter on what you just said.
Okay.
You do not know virtually, I'm going to add a virtually to
In
your
real
benefit, in real life, in trans community, that was not
my age or older, that has
a
not
sex
resorted to survival sex work in order to survive. So I call it survival
That
sex
is
work.
a soundbite of the year.
Now, let me make this realistic for you. I am the director of transgender services at SunServe, and in the last 4 years, I've had over 1,000 clients come through my doors asking for help. Name change, gender marker change, what may have you. Trans women specifically, over 90% of them today, 2020, are unemployed.
Right.
Because society does not think of you as a human. They do not want to hire you. Look where you go. Okay, you can go into Starbucks, and well, Starbucks is one of the examples. You go into Neiman Marcus, for example. You will see Latinos. You will see people of color. You will see gays, but you will not see trans people.
That's right.
How many people will hire a trans person? Oh, no, because society is uncomfortable and they complain like, oh.
If I may, in that soundbite that you just delivered
Yes.
for us, and I'm going to add to Misty's benefit, virtually everybody she knows, just so it's not 100%.
Very close.
Are you, okay, you heard loud and clear. Yeah, America, you hear that loud and clear. For the trans dinosaurs, prior to Caitlyn Jenner, is there shaming for participation in it?
Yes, of course. Society will shame you, period.
No. I know how
self-hatred,
people are.
self-shame?
Yes, there's self-shaming. Is it predominant for...
Okay, I will only speak in I terms. In the beginning of my survival sex work phase of my life, I no longer have to do this, thank God. In the beginning, I started to feel beautiful and I started to feel pretty. And like these married rich men would pay me to do things that I would do for free anyway. Realistically.
Right.
And they're going to make me feel pretty and they're going to call me beautiful things and buy me beautiful things. And I still have a Louis Vuitton purse that one of my regulars got me back in the day. But then you start to feel dirty and you start to feel disgusting and then you start to feel worthless. So yes, there's definitely shame involved because then you start to really do things that you wouldn't do for free and you don't want to do at all. And there are times when you just don't want to go to work, anybody in the world. And when you definitely don't want to suck the dirty dick of a fat old man or whatever, you're like, ugh. But you have to get your bills paid. And then what if you want $45,000 facial feminization that I want, and I'm a married woman, I would never cheat on my husband, but I have thought about making some quick coins so I could get facial feminization. I work for a nonprofit and I'm a student, so where is that $45,000 going to come from for my new face?
You know, it really breaks my heart to hear that, and I am very pro-trans. It really is disgusting that even the LGBT community at large do not support the trans community the way we are that. We should be going ahead and really developing programs to get these girls out of the streets, given an opportunity to educate them, re-educate them, treat them as women. You know, I have had to go to many a times to go to court to get them out. They're treated like pieces of shit, not dirt, shit. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, when you get 2 or 3 of your girls that you have to call to the police department because they're calling you in the middle of the night because they found them dead or beaten up and they have no family, they have no one there, I've had to do that for them. And I find that really, really disgusting. And before we go ahead and demand from the straight community, I demand from the gay community, the lesbian community, the bisexual community, to go ahead and look it out and support our trans community. Because they are being discriminated, murdered, attacked, and nobody gets a damn about it. We've got to stop that.
I want to refocus our topic. Let's not, in terms of sex workers, talk about anything but trans now. And we have Mark next week, and we can talk about gay adult entertainment in a different way. So let's. We've only got a minute or two more to be able to talk about this.
Well, I want to say something.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Listening to Misty. It's very impactful. But I will say I do see a glimmer of hope because I see now more discussions being had for the pride of sex workers, more than I've ever seen. And I've been in the scene for a long time. I'm now seeing people voice their, make their voices heard and saying, don't shame us. We're here. This is something that we shouldn't be vilified for. Yeah. And I think that conversation and that stand is the first step to really paving a new way. Yeah. So I do see the hope, at least. We still have miles to go.
People my age or older.
That's what I was thinking.
My younger clients that are 18, 19, 20, 23, many of them have not had to resort to this. Some of them will because they want the quick coin and they've learned from their ancestors and the girls that paved the way. But some of my clients have never had to do this, and I applaud them for getting out there and getting real jobs. Although, in order to get a real job, you need to look very fishy and very feminine.
It's distressing to me, and I've said this before. I will say it again. One of the reasons I'm thankful for what I've done at It's Happening Out, because when I came to It's Happening Out, I cannot say publicly, because it would be dishonest, I cannot publicly say that I knew anyone that was trans. Not personally as a friend. I can't say.
Before you came here?
You were a different situation, and we were, because of the cruise, etc., that was a different situation. Different. interaction with a friend on a daily or a weekly basis where I lived, I did not. Yes, we were a yearly friend. I did not have those kind of friends. And I look back at that and realize that was not their problem. That was my problem. And I also look back, and so I'm grateful It's Happening Out because I've learned so much. I have to mention Aaron Phoenix as one of our hosts. He has done a magnificent job of helping educate pre-Caitlyn dinosaur, you know? And the other thing that I think is super interesting is I'm disappointed frequently in the LGBT community because we always seem to get to, should T even be part of our community?
Yeah.
It's LGB. Wait, we're going to include T? And I am frequently now in my broadening of understanding going, of course we stand up for the T, because we're not a community if we forget them.
Right.
And so many young people in the LGBT community goes right over their head.
When I first came out, it was the GLBT community. And now we put the L in front to honor and respect our lesbians who are often ignored in our community.
Right.
But where's the T? Like you just
Literally.
said. Literally. Like, I go to mini spaces and they're like, oh, is it a drag night? Like, oh, what? Like, not drag. Trans people are often not welcome in gay spaces.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
And
last thought. I'm going to give you the last, please.
Okay, well, it
Better be big.
It's a whole lot of thoughts, honestly, and we'll get into this next time where we have Mark McNamara back here. Yeah, Mark McNamara. We have a lot of laws in the past couple of years in regard to Craigslist and the wanted ads. We see more and more implications from Grindr, from Scruff. A lot of people on them that search either specifically for trans or cross-dressing, and maybe they have positive things that they want to contribute. Maybe it's just to pay. Maybe it's to harm. You never know that. But those are some ways that the sex work industry has been influenced a lot, and it all relates to the trans community. So I wanted to know from the people that you know that are still involved with it, what has been the biggest change in technology that has actually influenced how they get around and survive?
Am I allowed to respond to his final thought?
Sure.
Okay, so
no, I'm kidding.
I'm a leader, and to be a good leader,
follow
you have
rules.
to be followed.
All right,
so,
thank
given permission, there will always, if there's a will, there's a way. There's always going to be a way. So yes, Craigslist was a very big resource for the women in my community. They will find ways, but also in the state of Florida specifically, if you've ever been arrested for the word sex, period, you can no longer change your name. So 60% of the trans women population in the state of Florida are walking around with male gender markers and their birth names because they can't change their name because they were arrested for survival sex work. So that is also something that we are trying to change. To make it
amazing. I have to, unfortunately, close this segment, but I do want to say two quick thoughts. First, we have covered it. It's Happening Out and at Q News tonight repeatedly. Black women, trans women of color, however we're going to label it, suffer murder rates just insane. Astronomical, insane in percentage. And that's a reflection of our society. And it's also a reflection of the LGBT community standing up for them. Second, I would be remiss, and I know speaking on behalf of all of your parts, one of the things that's really good in this conversation that was not completely clear to me, although I already knew it. Misty, from where you started, let me tell you, from outside of this community, you must come to South Florida, America. Of course, you must come to South Florida. This is the gayest place, funnest place on the planet for our community. But beyond that, you do not know. Misty Eyes, in my experience, over a decade, has been the leading voice. You just heard the experience of the pre-dinosaur summary. That could destroy you. How incredibly admirable to hear the possibility of destruction to being the leadership in not only the T portion of the community, but the leadership in the LGBT of our community. Congratulations to you. We are all very proud of Misty Eyes. No question about it. Let's end our show tonight in a game. A little funner. It's called Shag, Marry, Chop. Now, We're finally over this asexual stuff that we had for Valentine's Day. We're never going to do that again.
I was
we
over-
like
I was over
shagging.
last week.
Right. Exactly.
Last week we did cuddle instead of shag.
Yes.
Yeah. This is useless.
Right, exactly. It's like, what are we doing this for? All right, so we're playing Shag, Marry, Chop. This week, we go to an old 80s rock song called Hot for Teacher. Remember it? So we're going to see how this goes. First, Pietro Baselli, teacher of math at University College in London.
Is that a real math teacher?
That is a real University College professor. And then Jamel Fenner, an elementary school teacher in New York City.
Come on. Education.
And then finally, Justin Trudeau. He's taught French and math at Winston Churchill Secondary School. Are we hot for teacher?
Yes.
Wait. We've confirmed that that's Justin Trudeau.
It's not the Prime Minister of Canada. It is?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. When I read this, I thought, it's a teacher named Justin Trudeau. Oh, now we have power involved too. Makes it all the more sexual. All right, let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. Who jumps in? You tell us who, for Misty's benefit, you tell us who you would shag. You know what shagging means?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Shag now or shag later?
And marry and then chop and getting rid of.
Okay,
Who wants
I'll
to
start.
jump in?
I'll start.
All right.
So I'm totally shagging Jamel. He's like right up my New York City alley.
Ew.
Yeah, that's probably
That wasn't a euphemism.
Hey, listen, man, that's like what the first 2 years of me living in New York looked like right there. Okay.
Back in the straight days.
Oh yeah, back in my straight days.
I am so damn jealous of you now. My. All right.
So I'm
Who are you
totally.
The trans person at the table's getting hot.
I am gonna marry Justin Trudeau because
you're a political girl.
Yeah, I'm a political girl. He's smart.
Or
He's
a
a
soon-to-be
visionary.
political girl.
Yeah, and I have to let go of Pietro, even though he's super hot and cute, but he's probably gay, so it wouldn't work.
All right.
Can I go next?
Misty, of course you can. Okay. Stop asking for permission.
Well, I didn't know we were going in order. If this was a
anybody jump in.
Okay, so I'm actually very, very with my woman friend over here. Wow, Pietro was gorgeous when I first saw him, but I am totally shagging Jamel. The house down boots. I'm sorry, I'm married. Husband, I hope you're not watching this. Anyway.
I'm hoping he's watching this.
Any way he wants it, he can get it. Now, initially, I was going to marry Pietro until I did agree with you. Found out there's a man of power over there. He was totally getting chopped, honey. The chop. But now he's my husband.
All right. Ron, who are you shagging?
I guess I would do Jamel. I would.
Wow.
I would.
You have a little color.
Would you be the top or the bottom?
I'm versatile. I'm
Okay,
all
all right.
I am.
Yeah.
And now, who would I marry? Pietro.
Pietro?
I would marry him.
He's beautiful.
I would.
And you were going to chop the Prime Minister of Canada.
As many times as I can.
See, he got my joke faster than I could tell it. Exactly.
Sorry, Canadians, but
Howard, tell us who you would
Well,
shag.
this time, this one is easy for me. So I'm definitely gonna shag Pietro.
You like the pretty boys.
I like the hot boys.
He's probably gay.
And yes, well then he's right up my alley.
And he would be.
Yes, he would. Up and down. And I'm definitely going to marry Justin. We already go by first name.
That's right.
I can see myself.
Wait, let me tell you why, America, because he's not going to say it. Any Prime Minister of Canada that says, I really don't like the person that's sitting in the White House in Washington, power loves.
Yes, and I think that the role of First Lady would be would look good on me. So Jamal gets the motherfucking chop.
Yeah, he's done. All right, and I saved My detention partner, I save you for last.
You're gonna
Go
say
ahead.
Dependable, because I'm always dependable in being horny.
You
And
are,
so,
yes.
in terms of shag, I was gonna go with you too, and I was gonna say you were saying Mary, but I was gonna shag Justin Trudeau for some scandal, and then I realized that after all the blackface controversy, that everything just stopped. After all the blackface controversy, I assume he thinks that I'm a Jew with horns, and he would somehow have that come up over the course of time. So I'm actually not going to shag him. I'm gonna shag Jamel because he just seems like someone who would do it fine. I'm from Baltimore. I love something that can be rough and tough, but I didn't like when I couldn't see his body.
Wait, explore that. Are you? Misty just said you're a size queen.
I like muscle.
That's not what she meant.
I think that's all we can go off of from right here. He doesn't have the
No. Her observation is about you. Her observation is about you.
His dick doesn't look the biggest.
Are you a size queen? That's what she's saying.
I can like bigger size, but everyone here knows I'm all about it being pretty. It has to look pretty for me to want it anywhere.
Does that mean clean and cut?
It doesn't always have to be clean. It doesn't have to be cut at all, but it has to look like it's taken care of. If it looks like you just groomed, not necessarily groomed. It can't look like you were throwing it under like the vacuum cleaner. Like why is it all twisty? Why is it bent that way? What's wrong with your skin right today?
All right.
I don't know. Maybe I've just seen a lot of dicks, but some of them are not pretty. Anyway, and I would
America. I assure you, Napoleon Place has seen a lot of dicks. I assure you. All right. Who are you going to marry?
I'm going to marry Pietro.
Pretty.
Pretty. And he's from London, so like I just hear him talking right now.
And who are you chopping?
And then I'll chop Justin Trudeau because I'm sure he'll have some,
Yay!
I
chopped Pietro, but I do want to take his class.
Whatever he's teaching.
All right, America. That is shag, marry, chop, and we found out tonight.
You don't get to go?
No. I'm going to be silent here.
Oh.
We did find out.
I'll get chopped.
We are hot for teacher. All right. We're at the end of the show. It means we're hungry. We get to eat. We are going to have Jet's Pizza. And Jet's Pizza is here. Oh, wait. Now, wait. Before you walk away, we were just having a conversation about your sexual... you want to talk about the pizza.
It's an all-meat pizza.
It's yes. All right.
There you go.
Now, girlfriend or just casually dating? Single. All right. So good. We haven't embarrassed him for his girlfriend, and damn it, we haven't embarrassed him for his girlfriend. So absolutely, Jet's Pizza here in South Florida. It's absolutely the best. All right. As we close the show, we want to say good night from our host, and we're going to start with Ron.
Good night, America. It is fun. It is great to be among these beautiful people in this table. We may have differences, but at the end of the day, we're gay. We're lesbian, we're trans, we're bi, we're queer, we're unique. Let's always be unique. No matter how different differences we may have, let's get together. Let's hug. I mean, I'm next to my expert black, okay, and I am extremely proud of being part of this great community. Be part of this great community. Be part of us. Join us every time you can.
And thank you. And Josie?
Well, good night, everyone. I want to remind you that opportunity is a set of circumstances that makes it possible to make something happen. So when tonight after this show and tomorrow you start your day, just go out there and remember possibility is up to you. It's a choice. And all you have to do is line up the circumstances to make it happen. Your voice matters at the table, and I'll see you next week.
Empower?
Well, tonight I'm going to dedicate my closing actually to Ron. It's been 4 or 5 weeks now, and I finally decided that I like him.
Thank you.
I'm officially welcoming him to our show. And
I need you to write that and sign your name on the snap.
There you go.
So I would like everybody to tune in every single week to watch me prove Ron wrong as hell, week after week after week, right here.
You got 9 months to just beat the crap out of the Republican. Got it. Very nice. And my friend Napoleon Plays.
Yeah, tonight we talked about a lot, in fact, how sex can be work, how there are different ways that you might have to do something you don't want to do. And most people consider sex fun. Most people don't consider work to be fun. But you can always make work fun. You can always make work play. And I encourage you, just like we do here, to play every day, every way, because life can be a ball.
And finally, good night wishes from our guest host tonight, and we thank her very much. You've done a fantastic job, Misty Eyes.
I was initiated properly. Thank you. Good night, and thank you so much for having me. It is rare that a trans person gets their voice heard and to get invited to have a seat at the table, and I'm very honored and privileged to be at this table and able to share my own thoughts and opinions with these amazing people. And thank you for having me, and I hope to come back soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little birdie that is chirping in the distance behind us, there's an exploration of the possibility of doing a trans-dedicated show here in South Florida.
Fabulous. Ooh, I like that.
All right.
Know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yes, exactly. All right, so America, we're here every Wednesday night at 8. We're passionately dedicated to finding gay culture and gay community. And I'm sure you can see tonight that we explore it in so many different ways. We think what we are doing is valuable and important. We all represent different buckets. We know that, but we provide different perspective because of it, and it makes us so much stronger. We hope you agree with us. And remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.